I'm Major 7 with the New Old Heads, and this is episode 471 featuring our guest, Brother to the Night. And this week we had a discussion on J. Cole's recent Birthday Blizzard mixtape, Kendrick Lamar's Grammy win eclipsing Jay-Z's 25 Grammy total, Killer Mike and Jelly Roll, and artists speaking out at award shows when given the platform. We also talked about Pharrell not mentioning Chad Hugo in his award speech at the Grammys, and Nicki Minaj being in her feelings. Support us and get the uncut 2-hour show by becoming a Patreon member for $5. And if you're on YouTube, please click the bell and turn on all notifications. We'll see you in the comments. Peace. You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7, the good brothers in the building, starting off with my man Jay Moore, Reverend Hillman. How are you, sir?
Doing well, kicking but not high, flapping but can't fly. You know the vibes.
Frequent guest, team member, good friend, good brother, brother to the night. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm well, just slipping and dipping, tripping and sipping.
I'll take that. My man Lonegevity in the pilot seat. How are you, buddy?
Kicking and flapping and flying and stuff.
It just keeps getting worse every time, doesn't it? Last but not least, my man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutation.
Everything good your way?
I like turtles.
Oh, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
Switch it up a little bit. You know. On airplanes that be flapping and clapping and shit.
Shout out to my man, the Gobinator, aka the Champ, aka Sir Duncan the Tall in the building.
Definitely the champ.
Definitely not Sir Duncan at all.
Yeah.
But
he is the champ, though, until further notice, because he smoked everybody. Patrice. All right, gentlemen, we had a week off last week. And
yeah, did we?
Yeah, man. Time to live.
I missed y'all.
Whose fault was that?
Mm-hmm. I'll take the blame for that. That's fine. I will accept that. Cold, man. Yeah, on this side. Yeah, on this side. No, it's all right.
being a coño.
Shout out to Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
That part. But
bomb me.
What has before we get into our rundown, as always, have you gentlemen seen anything that was positive, negative, ignorant, or anywhere in between since we've last been together?
It's been it's been 2 weeks.
The
world is caught on fire and blown up 3 times since we've been on.
Stuff happens so crazy in just a short amount of time.
They've almost finished the Death Star.
It's funny that like y'all skipped after talking about Cole. Y'all skipped a week. The week he dropped something.
The night.
Yeah, the night that Cole dropped something.
Listen, man.
Do you think the Cole impact was as big as you thought it would be? Because
he shut the world down for a minute.
I see people sharing it, but I don't see people talking about it like they were when it first came out. That's just me.
What you mean by that?
It's freestyles.
That ain't what I asked. I'm just asking in terms of Cole dropping the project. It's not his album.
Yeah, I want you to kind of clarify what you mean.
What I'm saying is I think the initial hype about him dropping a mixtape, and it felt like a mixtape that we grew up on. I like all that. The nostalgia was there. The beat selection was there. But I saw it started to tail off.
Selection.
I liked it. The way he sounded over those beats. That's just me. You ain't like it?
It was cool.
Okay.
But it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So there was a part on the video that I dropped about that coming out. I cut it out. I spliced it out. I actually started going to what was he alluding to by picking all Bad Boy and Diddy beats, but I ended up cutting that part out of the video before I posted it. But I wasn't really upset at the beats. I was more into the nostalgia of having Clue on there.
Yeah. Took me back for sure.
Cole is on there rapping. He's contradicting himself a little bit, but he's rapping very well.
What part do you think he's contradicting him?
Okay, so
that's a good question.
First song on the album, the victory track.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into being pretty much accepting the fact that he's not part of the big 3 anymore.
Which is a falsehood.
No, I mean, but this is his.
He's just ain't number one.
Yeah, him saying
he
that
was never.
He was never number one. How he fell off and blah blah blah, and he's not pretty much the top of the game no more.
Yeah,
and he pretty much did it on purpose so he can climb back.
That's
up
a lie.
People
he's still top of the game. He's just not.
Yeah, but then as soon as the second song started,
he came back saying I'm
the top of the game. Yeah. That's the kind of conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I mean, the flows was fire to me.
I don't think he was saying that he wasn't the top of the game. But to y'all saying that I am. I still feel like I'm the best. You know what I mean? And he has every right to feel that way. I think every rapper should feel that way.
What did y'all think about
But
people?
he said, though, that he pretty much acknowledged that because of that, I'm not part of the big three. I don't feel like he
apologized.
Yeah, I don't feel like he was saying because of y'all said it. I feel like he was saying because he said it and he was taking accountability for that.
But that was floating around. Like, why would you
have the bravado?
Why would you have the bravado now on the mixtape? But people are looking at it as you tucked your tail when it was time. That's the conversation that I saw.
He invited Maul to eat a Frank.
He did. I think he dissed academics, which I enjoy.
Maul was so upset about it. Did y'all watch Maul talk about?
Nope.
Gotta be honest. You have to watch that video because it's
I don't watch him talk about anything.
You have to watch it because it's very embarrassing as a man to have that much vitriol for another man that's in a situation that has nothing to do with you.
That's a good point.
He was talking about like, you need to apologize to Drake. And matter of fact, because I need to know why you got money with him and then just never talk to him again.
I did see
matter
that.
of fact, you can DM me.
He was
I'm
that
not
emotional?
Man, he was
I saw
you about it.
That's just weird energy.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. What type of grown man has that much energy and effort and attention to something that don't have nothing to do with you to his point?
Maybe there's some type of love affair.
They got some sort of secret thing going on there.
You know what I mean? Like,
why else would you be that invested?
Yo, that's crazy to be that emotional.
What's his name? Screwface John calls him and academics
glazers.
Pale DeVoe or something like that. Something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's something
close enough.
Something glazing. It's a glazing term that he came up for them.
Yeah.
Because they glaze Drake so much. And they actually don't even like each other. But they're in a group together because they
because they're paid.
Yeah.
I believe there's a nice check.
Probably.
A lot of checks being cut out.
I don't know. I bought the J. Cole project for $1.
Dope.
$1 in a dream.
Listened to it one time. Didn't listen to it again. Have no interest in listening to it again.
Typical.
He did exactly what he normally does. He just raps really well. But he also didn't say anything in the entire thing that made me want to go back and listen again, which is also very typical J. Cole for me specifically. So he's a good rapper. He's an exceptional rapper. He's one of the best rappers ever. But like, I'm curious where he goes with his album more than I am this mixtape.
I heard people saying it potentially will be a double disc.
It is.
It is.
Has that been confirmed? Okay, cool.
I mean, the name of the song that he dropped was Disc 2, Track 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, now maybe that's not.
Who knows in today's.
So I think that the mixtape was dope. He definitely did some dope rapping.
For sure.
But I think it might have been the last freestyle that he did where he was actually talking about like the state of hip hop, where he was talking about how much first he was shitting on how all these older MCs are podcasting, et cetera, and then it was the last one he was talking about how he champions that, like he's proud of everybody getting his money, just don't talk on me.
That part.
You know what I
they
mean?
don't talk on you. I mean, you're giving everybody ammunition.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say, okay, I shouldn't be the subject of your talk. What else do you expect them to talk about? You know, if you're going to step outside, that's part of the game. You know, so many people are like, oh man, I just don't like this kind of attention. Like it comes with it.
That's
and at this point, J. Cole, you've been out long enough to where you should understand that.
That's why I feel like he got to eat that. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about like that whole dropped out of the top 3 shit.
Yeah.
You got to eat that because you put out a track and then said,
I'm cool.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, too, on this album, the second song sounds like he's taking shots at somebody. There's some subliminals
he
on there.
took a shot at Simba.
Yeah. Well, that one, but like some of the words and phrases that he's using has to be talking about Drake.
I heard that too.
Some of them things could possibly be about Kendrick. And I feel like this might have been something that was on the scrapping room floor when he was feeling like he was about to jump in this and then bowed out. To me, it might have been something he just freestyled a week or two ago. I don't know. But to me, it kind of
sounds like that around that time.
It gave me an energy of he might be trying to step outside on that.
Shut the up.
Yeah, just be cool.
Respectfully.
Just be cool.
I mean,
drop a good album.
It's not going to land.
You had your opportunity.
You had your opportunity. So that window
He was never in the top 3.
Huh?
Agreed.
I mean, let me rephrase that.
Be careful.
There
now.
was never a big 3. Not really. Not really.
I don't know.
You
It
don't think so,
depends.
man?
It's
Even
a big
depends.
2.
Even when the battle started, I don't think there was a big 3, really.
So if we talk about,
sure?
so I actually
There's
had,
only a big 1.
It's Kendrick and
Touche.
everybody else.
nah,
Yeah.
see,
It's Kendrick and everybody else.
Drake
Yeah.
is too powerful for
Drake
that
is
long.
not hip hop. He's
but
a
nah,
rapper.
but when it comes down
But they
to
think
Drake
he
is a
is.
rapper. I don't
When
care
it-
about them.
when it comes down to blog
People.
era rappers,
Yeah.
there's definitely a big 3, and those are the 3.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if we're going to go with the narrative, sure. But if,
Long.
but if I'm going to talk about like what it really is, no.
Long as you dismiss the people, right?
Sure.
I'm just saying that big 3, to me, that big 3 list, or if you perception for everybody as the big 3, I actually think that's valid.
No, I think if you're going to look at it from that lens,
Yeah.
sure. If
Right.
you're going to look at it like the top 3 rappers that based upon all the metrics, and one of the biggest metrics
There you
being
go.
popularity,
There you
which
go.
is a big one of them,
Mhm.
sure, you can factor all them in. But if we're going to be real about it,
As it relates to rappers.
at least from my perspective, like
Yeah.
it's just one. Like Drake's not in the Drake's never been in the conversation for me, even though he can rap well. Again, this is just my perspective because I can't get into Cole like that. But like, there are other people I would put in the big 3
Someone,
higher than Cole.
I'm going to nerd out real quick and just ask y'all this. It doesn't have to be long. Do we have the attention span to really enjoy a double disc project now? And 2, do we care if he produces the majority of it?
Depends on the artist.
Okay.
Boom.
Number 1.
All right.
If it's J. Cole, for me specifically,
Mhm.
probably not, unless it's just really good.
Okay.
Like if he's actually personal, like in a way that I can connect with, then maybe, you know.
All right.
If he produces the majority of it, it depends if sometimes he's all right with his beats, but sometimes
he's-
it's just very much okay.
Okay.
He was
So-
kind of personal in the track that he dropped though.
Which one
That track 2 did this 2 track 2.
was he? You were on the show with me.
I know. I agree. It was kind of personal.
I feel like the type of personal it was like
Surface.
I know you as an acquaintance, but you're not my friend.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's what I always get from him. Like, I'm looking for friends out here in the music scape. I don't want somebody who's not going to let me in. And J. Cole doesn't let me in a vulnerable type of way that I see it in the same way I see other people. And it's just like, all right, that's where you're at. Cool. We can be acquaintances.
Mhm.
But my other friends over here, you know, I don't really have that barrier when I talk to people. I talk to everybody kind of the same, you know, and I feel like,
That's accurate.
and that's kind of how I want my artists to be with me in
Mhm.
general. And Cole seems like he always got that barrier up, and that's okay, you know. And if not for me, it's not for me.
That's a great take. Clip that.
yeah.
Clip that right there.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
because I like a lot of Cole's records.
I don't have anything else to say after
Jay,
that.
Terry, y'all got anything on the double disc concept and also the
Oh, okay.
production?
I think you can't say that.
Huh?
That we don't have the attention span of
No,
a
I'm
double
just-
disc. I'm
I'm
just
just
saying we
asking.
do because
We may.
Kendrick dropped a double disc and everybody rants and raves about it. It does happen to be one of my favorite
Everybody
Kendrick projects.
doesn't rant and rave about that project
Which one?
because Mr.
Mr.
Morale,
Morale.
Mr.
Oh.
Morale is one of the.
It
one
got
of the-
critical acclaim.
But that's one of the ones where with Kendrick's projects, normally you see the majority of this shit is crazy. This was one of those ones where I saw a lot of 50-50. There was a
But-
lot, including me. There's a lot of 50-50 on it.
I agree, but the brother went on a world tour,
It was
did.
huge.
You did?
so
Huge.
that you can't
Was that
really
that
say
album
that.
or was that Kendrick?
Either
You gotta-
it don't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, don't matter.
It don't matter.
Just asking. I'm
He
just asking.
went on a world tour and
Yeah.
people still
Sold that mug out.
but again, outside of perceptions and everything, I think I'd probably agree with Mike. Like, that's not one of Kendrick's most
That's not one of
strongest
his
pieces.
strongest.
I personally have not went back to Mr. Morale, even though I think it's a great piece of art.
Yeah,
No,
it's one time
it's
I
a
had to
hard
listen to it, and
Yeah.
exactly,
It is.
I've told people this before. It's like he made a record for himself, and he just happened to let us listen to it.
Fire.
Like, this was not something. There wasn't anything on this record where we're like, all right, well, this will be the song that they put on the radio, or this will be the song that is used in, I don't know, a Beats commercial or whatever. These were very deeply personal, somewhat in places disturbing songs.
Mhm.
He circled the block though with that GNX.
Did he?
To your point,
I mean,
Long, don't
to
start.
me, yes.
That GNX was fire.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
It
start
was.
long. As a
I
matter of fact,
agree.
I'm not about to gas you up because
But-
he
but to Lone's point, like he let us in.
He did.
Yeah.
We knew exactly where he was and what he was going through at that time in his life.
I'm not about to cap and say it didn't have heat on it. I'm just talking about overall. I think there are lots of songs that we could slice a lot of records off of there. To me,
and
that's just me.
There's not very many artists that you get that from.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Especially on a mainstream level.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like
Well,
that.
I'll be honest. When I remember hearing that, I'm thinking, okay, this is the last time we're gonna hear. He's gonna be like Rap Sade. We're not gonna hear from him. He's gonna be off riding his bike with no cell phone. Just having a time.
Like J. Cole.
So I was one of those people. I didn't think we was even going. GNX was a super surprise to me because I didn't think we were going to get another Kendrick album.
That's true.
Not anytime soon. Not as soon as we got it.
I don't think we were until Drake and Cole did what they did.
Well, apparently they have like 100 recorded songs for GNX. So I doubt he recorded 100 songs in that short period of time. Do you think?
People got to put extra sauce on it though. I don't think it's 100 records either. Now, I also don't have free time to just record as much as I want. So who knows how many records we could do if we had ample free time to record. So it's kind of I don't. Yeah,
obviously I'm not in the room, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but I lean towards your side. That's a lot of records.
That's a lot of records to just like pull something out of the hat.
I feel like that's like when people throw a number out like that, just from experience, I'm like, if you say 100, I'm like, okay, there's probably 20, 25. There might be 30 records, and the rest of them might be reference tracks. Yeah. That's the difference between having 100 complete records.
But I think that's
skeletons.
But I think from the conversation standpoint, it's kind of the same place when you talk about finishing a record. I don't finish records until it's time to put a record out.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Everything's a reference track until it's time to put something together.
We got some we working on now that 100% reference stage.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that's kind of what it is. And when somebody says 100, I guess from my standpoint, being in that room, being in these rooms, like in that particular realm, like 100 tracks just means to me, I think 100 reference tracks,
100 ideas,
and then you can take them to the next level. So I doubt he has 86 more or however 80.
Full records.
I don't think so.
I don't believe that either. Nah.
But that's also not what I'm thinking is being said. But
yeah, Cole is. I do want to hear this project. I am excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
excited with the premise.
I'm curious. I'm more interested in Thundercat's new album dropping in April.
Yeah.
That dude is a monster, man.
Yeah.
I heard 3 songs off of it. He dropped 3 songs off of it.
I heard one of them. I haven't heard all of them. But
is there anything else pending we should pay attention to? People that are scheduled.
I would just say listen to IDK's project. Listen to that. I know he's been kind of slept on. He dropped. It was a mixtape. Thundercat, Moonchild's dropped a couple records.
I love Moonchild.
Yeah.
Jill comes out in April.
April? I thought it came out this month. Yeah, I thought it was February.
I was about to say, she's doing a lot of press for it to be coming out for 2 months.
Planet Asia and DJ Scratch.
I'm not mad at that. It's a
very, very good combination.
I'm not mad at that.
And they've got 2 records that are good.
I'm not mad at that.
That I've heard.
Kendrick Lamar, the new king, perhaps. Now, we're going to talk about this because Kendrick just set some records. He just became the most awarded rapper in Grammy history, surpassing Jay-Z's long-standing record for career Grammy wins. He got 27, if I believe that's the correct.
26.
26 or 27?
26.
Okay. Let's watch this video of his acceptance speech, and then we'll get into a couple questions.
Yeah. What's up? It's hip-hop as usual, man. I'm not good at talking about myself, but I express it through the music. It's an honor to be here. Tyler, the Clips, like these are my brothers to be in this category. What's up, Push, man? Malice, man? Every time I tell you this, hip-hop is gonna always be right here. We're gonna be in these suits. We're gonna be looking good. We're gonna be having our folks with us. We're gonna be having the culture with us. So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
Nervous. He sounded nervous up there.
He didn't say shit.
No, he didn't. But
dang, man, you just going.
I'm just saying.
God be the glory.
Yeah. Yeah, give it honor to God. Who is the honor of my life.
Shouts to God.
Yeah.
Peace.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Jay Moore sitting this one out. All right. So let's go. Let's go to the first question. What does Kendrick Lamar's historic Grammy achievement mean for his legacy, and does he still have anything left to prove in hip hop?
No.
He has nothing to prove?
He has nothing to prove. And quite honestly, to me, it means nothing to his legacy.
Boom.
because his legacy is about the quality and the consistency of his actual work. And that's something that, you know, I'm happy whenever somebody who I think authentically represents the culture can get on that stage and accept an award. But, you know, does that, the fact that he lost to Macklemore the first time he was supposed to get Rap Album of the Year, does that diminish him in any way? No, it doesn't. The same way, in my mind, just because, like, look, if you as a producer or you as a producer won a Grammy, I'd be standing up on a chair clapping, but that wouldn't mean anything about your actual art, because honestly, the Grammys are just now getting to the point where they're getting it right as far as hip hop is concerned. You know, and then a lot of people, you know, you could say, you know, when Drake made the statement, you know, whatever he said, shut up and give Kendrick a Grammy so he'd be quiet. You know, there are some people who are running with that argument right now, but that would be if GNX wasn't any good, or, you know, depending on even how you feel about GNX, if it wasn't any good compared to what was in his category. So to me, Kendrick doesn't need Grammys to solidify or, you know, exalt his legacy, you know, but I'm happy for him. I'm glad it's him. But, you know, Kendrick never needed any of this in my eyes as a hip hop fan.
Jump in there, B.
I'll agree. This doesn't mean anything for Kendrick's legacy. To me, Kendrick was the king prior to winning this Grammy. You know what I mean? He didn't need it for him to solidify his legacy, as Jay Moore said. But I do not believe that the Grammys got it right this time.
I don't think they did it either.
Yeah, I don't think that this Grammy should have went to Kendrick. You know what I mean? But Kendrick is the most recognizable person on the ballot. So that's who they picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even when we had this conversation before this happened, I think the Clips should have got it. But I think it was a win altogether. I don't think it was a situation that whoever got the award that we knew were going to get it, because there was some albums in there that we knew that's not going to win.
Chromacopia was fire.
Yeah, but I
would have
like,
given it to Tyler.
Yeah, I wouldn't have given it to Tyler. Not between those three albums, no.
Or Glorilla.
No,
Hell
absolutely not. It should have went to the Clips, in my personal opinion, but I don't see a problem with it going to Kendrick. I mean, because his album was still good.
Great.
You know what I'm saying?
Very good.
Very good. But the situation, I thought he actually should have been nominated last year. I must have missed some days or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it was
anyway,
after the deadline.
Yeah, it was after the deadline. So in my eyes, I'm thinking the Clips are the ones that's going to get it. And I mean, they still went home with a Grammy.
Chains and Whips won.
Yeah. Which featured Kendrick.
Featured Kendrick, yeah.
But I was actually, I had my whole shit kind of set up to say something that Jay Moore already said. So I'm going to act like he didn't say that and say it anyway. The whole Kendrick just opened his mouth, somebody go hand him a Grammy right now. Okay, that's true. But the reason why that's true shouldn't be something that somebody's taking jabs at him about, because he's making a material that compares to why he's being the greatest and why he's being nominated for these awards. I mean, if you think about every album that he's dropped that has been nominated has won something. Every single one except for the first one. And all of them are great bodies of work. And it's because he approaches his album making like he's painting a picture, essentially. It's not just, I'm going to just throw some music out there. I'm really trying to give you some quality work. So him getting a Grammy for it ain't the slight that the Kendrick naysayers thought it was.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What if, this is, Bizarro. What if Drake and Iceman gives us an album where he's completely introspective and he lets us in at the level and the quality of Kendrick?
Well, see, I'm not even saying it as a spite to Drake.
I'm not either. I'm just saying, what if he does? Because we've never gotten that for real from him.
If he does and he makes an album that's cohesive and he earns it, that's cool. But like, as far as when we talk about Kendrick's legacy in this rap game, he stood 10 toes down in it. He's never swayed. So when we talk about, is there anything for him to prove at this point? And does this change anything? Absolutely not, because he's been on this same trajectory his whole career. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, they're completely different artists. Just like Drake dances in all of these different lanes. I can't see Kendrick giving me a EDM album.
Hell no. I hope not.
You know what I mean?
I would be pissed.
It's gonna be trash.
And that's where we say that products are products. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Drake is a product. You know what I mean? Because he dances in all these different areas. We're not gonna get no reggae, Afrobeat album from Kendrick unless we do.
What's crazy is I've heard people say that Kendrick is the product.
Well,
No.
I know that's crazy, right?
This is why we don't care about people.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was surprised by when Luther Vandross won Song of the Year.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Record is fire.
You know,
Shout out to Cher.
yeah, shout out to that was one of those moments where, like Trevor Noah said, is like I love live television.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, so I did not have, I had him winning. If you would ask me for predictions, I had him winning, rap album of the year, getting song of the year. That's something that that really surprised me. Like usually you can kind of pick where these things, and whatever, can't remember what category that Billie Eilish won in, and I was like, really? Those were the two surprises of the night for me. Billie Eilish winning, but at the same time, Billie Eilish is that name that's on the ballot that everybody knows.
Yeah, Beck didn't record any music last year.
Yeah, apparently not.
Clearly.
Mike, what do you
Jump in
think?
there, Long.
Well, what do you
In
think?
terms of this,
Yeah.
I don't think he needs anything else. I think that we've always talked about the Grammys and their lack of, we talk about lists. You always the list. I've been the one person that said, if I got one, I'll be happy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I can't turn a blind eye to the fact that a lot of the shit that they do is stupid as it relates to some of these categories. I think Lone had a take with some content that he put out. It's more icing on the cake.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
it's like he's already cemented as that guy or one of those guys. We can have that conversation whenever, but this was just a little whipped cream, a little icing.
Yeah, to me, this is a bowl of ice cream, man. This is just some dessert. It's not consequential at all, to me, but I'd also say that it is, if I'm going to be consistent about this, as I try to be as much as possible, I do think the Grammys did get it wrong. So there's that. I'm not as mad to your guys' point because who was up for it, and it was a lot closer, and I feel like everybody was generally kind of representative of hip hop and where it kind of needs to be in the first place. So it's like, I wouldn't have been mad if Tyler won. I wouldn't have been mad if Jid won. I wouldn't have been mad if Clips won. And I'm not mad if Kendrick won.
What about
but I would say, but GNX is probably my
one.
Glorilla. I just ignored her because, but GNX is probably, for me, number 4 on the list. So it's to me, it's not even one of my favorite Kendrick projects. So it is what it is. I know people love it and all this, all the things considered, but I was listening to Good Kid, Mad City today. It ain't that. You know what I mean?
Nah,
so
they had a lot of albums, messing with that though.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like the Clips' album was closer to that.
But it make you dance. It's a Kendrick out, but he was still able to talk his shit and make you dance. And
like I said,
that's what
it was cool. It was cool.
I think it was great.
I liked it.
It was cool.
I enjoyed it.
And
I really
then
enjoyed it.
Tyler actually got nominated for 2.
Yeah.
He got nominated in the hip hop category for Chromacopia, and then he got nominated in the alternative category for
the other
Don't Break
project.
the Glass.
Yeah, Don't Break the Glass. Yeah.
Interesting.
which should have been flipped if you ask me.
Huh?
I think.
I don't know. As far as the music itself, I don't think so.
Nah.
Don't Tap the Glass was alternative?
That's what they put it in.
Alternative hip hop or
I think Chromacopia was more of that.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
I thought his newer one was more dancey, more.
Yeah, it was. I would have put that damn near in like the dance category.
Don't Break the Glass is the one that would be deemed more alternative than Chromacopia to me.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then Chromacopia won.
They probably just put it in there because he complained in the past.
Yeah, Chromacopia won for Best Album Cover of the Year, which is a new award.
Oh, I didn't.
So he did take home an award last night.
Good for him.
So the only people in the hip hop category that didn't take home awards was JID or Jid and Glorilla. Everybody else won something.
Because
Jid is dope.
of course there were people who were, and I get it. Everybody doesn't sit and look at, submission rules. They're like, how does De La Soul not in there or Nas or whoever? I was like, it came out after the submission period. And they said, well, you know, what about Freddie Gibbs? I said, well, Freddie Gibbs was just snubbed.
Yeah, that was the snub of the century.
That was a snub. Like, I'm not, you know,
He
of
still
course,
got his Grammy though.
of course it'll be
Yeah,
seen.
he got one. He got one from Mutt.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
right.
did.
But, you know,
Leon,
and I know, you know, we
Kudos.
joked about it a little bit about seeming like, you know, we was being hard on the ladies, but like, look,
He didn't belong in there.
no, she didn't belong there. Not when Freddie Gibbs was right there.
That's
No.
that's
Yeah,
obvious.
so-
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not the same.
But
Facts.
you mentioned Cher, and I think she probably won something that night. 'Cause you know she'll pop that thing for a young.
Come on now.
She got one. Little
yeah,
young dude.
Yeah.
Apparently, she had been getting lifted with Future in the back. That's why she was out of sorts when she was on stage.
If
Out
I
of
could
sorts.
turn
She's
back
from a
crazy
time. She's from a time where she was doing Quaalude. She probably
That's
done
true.
opium.
That's true.
You taking it back to just old timey
I
days.
mean, he
Cher
not
been
lying,
around
though.
the block.
That's Cher, right? If I could turn
Yeah.
back time.
Yeah. Rocky
Yeah.
Dennis's mama.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
I gotta follow up, and then we can go to the next topic. So here's the question I pose: is Kendrick still in his artistic prime, or has he already peaked?
We
Do
don't know to
artists
the next
ever-
album.
Yeah,
I do think artists peak.
Yeah,
I do.
they do peak.
I
but
think
like
they peak.
Kendrick has been in the game for 15 years.
Right.
Jay-Z has been in the game for 30. Jay-Z has 25 Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick has 27,
Mm-hmm.
26. He could be done right now if he wants to.
He can quit right now. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he has enough time to breathe if he doesn't feel like he's in artistic mode to come out with something new.
But
He has time on his hands right
he does
now.
have time. But what I'm saying is, has he all based off everything up into right now? Has he reached his apex?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
We're not gonna
You
know
don't
till
think
the
so,
next
Long?
Yeah,
album.
we have to see.
So jump in there, Long. What you think?
Big Kendrick fan. I'm a big Kendrick fan.
Yeah.
But if we factor in his last two projects,
Mhm.
even the last three, good Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City,
Yep.
To Pimp a Butterfly,
Mm-hmm.
everything from there, Damn to me is not as good as those previous two. Even though I like it, it's not as good as those two. Mr. Morale and Big Steppers is not as good as the previous ones, and to me, GNX is not as good as the previous one. To me,
Mhm.
I see a slope downward. But what I will say at the same time, it doesn't mean that the stuff that he's making is not top tier.
Okay.
You know, but I think it kind of also depends on what he does next, if he does anything next.
So whatever this next move is pivotal.
Maybe to see if he has reached a so-called prime. But I'll also say this: Kendrick doesn't feel like an artist that's going to reach a prime like that and fall off. He doesn't feel like that type of person. He's going to continue to challenge himself. I think he may do something to where maybe it misses a little bit. Maybe like Mr. Morale essentially kind of missed a little bit, or
Yeah.
you know, he may pivot in that potential way, or even GNX to some people like myself. You
Yeah.
know? But I don't think he's going to. As far as when it comes down to his artistic nature, I don't think so.
Jump in, B. What you think?
Paul's point, man, and we're not gonna know until you drop something.
That's
Yeah.
where we at. We got to wait on the next one.
Yeah, like I think that's the way with any project. You know what I mean? And to me, GNX was not a slope off. You know what I mean?
me
It's,
either.
to me, it was very much like, damn, you give me To Pimp a Butterfly, which is he gave you Mr. Morale. Like To Pimp a Butterfly and Mr. Morale are equivalent to me.
No.
These are albums. No, I'm not saying they sound alike,
Oh, okay,
but
okay,
those are albums for him.
Okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then
They were
I'll
personal.
and then I'll give you something for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I see where you're going.
yeah, so I think that's what GNX was. So the next project that we get is going to be something from him, which could very well put him right back up to the level. Because I want to hear where his head was at when he was going through the battle with all this, that, and the third
Yeah,
with him
point.
and Drake.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what you're gonna get.
But I also don't feel like he needs to give us anything right away either. I understand the question, like, has he reached his prime or not? But like,
I don't
I honestly
believe it.
don't really care. Like, I feel like, you know, like he's been consistent throughout his entire career of always giving us wherever he is. And that's good enough for me.
Which to me, that's one of the dopest things about him is his consistency
Yeah.
and his willingness to. It's like Outkast, like they'll execute risks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't do that. You'll see people fall off a cliff trying to take a risk.
Oh.
He has been.
No, it was something I was gonna say. Go ahead. You didn't say
You
nothing
usually
wrong.
say it though.
You didn't say nothing wrong.
Okay, all right.
You didn't say nothing wrong.
Terry,
I'm
jump
sorry.
in there, bro. I'm sorry. I want to.
I was gonna say it. This is why I said pause. As long as you feed me, that's all I care about.
So the pause should have followed after you said that.
You're right.
Yeah, okay.
My bad.
That's a pre-menopause.
Terry, please get us out of this moment right now.
This is the gift and the curse of being an artist like Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Because he's given us so much good product that I feel like we're gauging it too much.
Well, we're talking about him because he's the person to talk about. This is like such a stupid conversation. Realistic, like, you know, like, I mean, like, and not stupid. I just mean like it's not consequential. Like it's.
The problem is he's an actual artist. So I can't be mad at the actual artist for making art.
Okay.
I don't devalue anything that he's put out up to now. I definitely have some favorite albums, some favorite tracks. He was in a different place when he created Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City, and you know what I'm saying? I like to see an artist push themselves to create different things and different cinematic musical expressions like he's done. There's some that aren't as personal as the other ones, but they still, to me, sound just as good. The only album, like I said, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is a hard album to listen to, especially if you have some personal situations that you might have needed to talk to somebody about. And he's essentially talking to somebody about his transgression and his problem. But I don't think it was a sway away artistically from those earlier albums. It's just a different version of
Good point.
Yeah.
So like artistically, I honestly, I don't think that I don't think he's peaked. I kind of feel like I can almost say linear, because everything is unique and is still artistic. It's just a different form.
Sure.
I think it's almost your perspective, because to me, I don't think, in my opinion, it's going to be so hard for him to eclipse To Pimp a Butterfly. That's me. You know, and it's a weird thing to say because I like Good Kid, Mad City better. But I think artistically, like, I don't know if it's going to be hard for almost anybody to top To Pimp a Butterfly, you know. And I think there's something to what you said as far as like, okay, I'm going to give, here's one for you. Here's one for me. Damn is for you. Mr. Morale is for me. GNX is for you. Like, that's the pattern he's followed. If he does have something on the way, that super personal album, or that's something where he's taking more chances, you know, sonically or lyrically, that's what I'm more excited about. You know, but that's my perspective. So I just think there are people who are going to have their criticisms and laud their praise on something based on their personal perspective.
Yeah. Can I add something else to this conversation? Sure. Just I want to pose a question, because you actually alluded to it when you said when he accepted this speech, he didn't say shit. How do y'all feel about an artist that is at an award ceremony and can use their platform to address certain things?
That's a topic later on.
Okay, never mind.
Yep. You are now listening to the New Old Heads podcast. Our official 1-hour episode is released every Saturday at noon Eastern, but we share the exclusive uncut 2-hour episode to our Patreon members early every Wednesday. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Bringing Down the Band, and most importantly, you. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads, where we embrace the new, respect the old, and remain ahead. Jelly Roll was in the news for his apolitical stance at the Grammy, right? But Killer Mike was also asked at the Grammys about Bill Maher, saying that he thinks celebrities that make political statements at award shows is essentially performative.
Bill Maher on Friday, he did one of his new rules was about people who try to use red carpets and award shows for activism. Doesn't think it's the right place, thinks that we should all kind of forget about it for a couple hours and then get back to it. Where do you fall in that conversation?
I mean, he's a 70-year-old guy, and I can understand that he understands life is short and you can't take too much time worrying, and you need to just give yourself a couple hours of fun. I get that. As a 50-year-old guy, though, with an 18-year-old daughter, I'm not going to not take an opportunity to speak and give platform platform to things that people are actively working on. So it's a balance to me. To me, if I answer 7 or 8 questions, give one question to the people to say, hey, this is going on locally, and support that. So I love Bill because when no one was an activist about marijuana, he was an advocate for it. I love Bill because no one was an advocate for progressive politics. He did it and has built a career around it. So I can agree with my 70-year-old friend that sometimes you need to give yourself a couple hours to take a break, but I'm never mad when someone, and especially an artist, is compelled to say something, says something.
Do you see my chain, ho?
Yeah, I see that chain.
Yeah.
That was LP in the back, right?
Yeah. Look like
he been working out or something, or he on one of them GLP-1s.
So
looking good there, Killer Mike.
yeah, he did look like he's slimming down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is the role of an artist, but if not to speak truth to power on the world around them, when you get that opportunity?
I think it's whatever compels you at the time. And if you're not going to have something to say when all eyes are on you and you have something on your heart and you don't say it, you're being inauthentic. Yeah. Not just to whatever cause that you think is important and needs a certain spotlight, but you're being inauthentic to yourself. Like if you've been watching the news and you feel compelled to say something, whether it was police brutality, whether it be, immigration, whether it just be, women's issues, whether it be artist issues, you should say what's on your heart and be authentic in that moment. I don't think that when someone says, oh, we just need a break. Well, you know what? There's a lot of things we just can't take a break from in this world. Yeah. Right now is not a time to where we should say, oh, everybody, if you want to have fun and take a break, watch something on Netflix or whatever streaming service you have. But when you are annoyed, if you will, that people have something on their heart that's important and is important not only to themselves, but perhaps to the world. And you're like, I don't have time for that. That's about you. And like I said, he's 70 years old. Maybe he just wants to watch the show now. But I think a lot of this is also Bill Maher is now, he's an old white man. Where he has been, I used to be, I'm somebody who was a big fan of his. And I remember why he's on HBO as opposed to ABC affiliates. Sure. So he did have a very progressive streak about him, but now he's just like old man yelling at cloud a lot of times, which is disappointing, but at the same time, I understand.
It's always been him, though. He is a very classic liberal. He's not a leftist.
No.
And so, he's very progressive in a liberal sense, which makes sense for a lot of his politicals. But anyways, not to stray too far.
So, I mean, like I said, he still says some things where I'm like, okay, yeah. But, I mean, it's been a weird kind of descent into something else since that Ice Cube incident that we talked about maybe on the 50th episode of this show. And like I said, a lot of times people say, oh, well, he must be very progressive just because of his, advocacy for the, decriminalization and taking Schedule I of cannabis, in as far as the United States government is concerned. And once again, that's something I feel like, let's get that money in the banks, y'all. But, I'm not going to talk about that right now. That's on my heart for a later date. But I just don't think that, if you are an artist and you are compelled to say something and that is something that is authentic, it's not something that somebody handed you a note card about, then you need to go ahead and express yourself in that moment.
I think that's the part. You talked about authenticity. I think preparation is also very important because I think sometimes we have a lot of musicians or people that are popular that will have a spur of the moment comment. It's not prepared. It's not thought out. And things happen. We all have them. But if you have a platform of this magnitude, you have to be authentic, but you also have to be calculated and prepared with your thoughts because you have so much of an audience that you can affect by what you say. And I think that, to me, is what I see. It's like, yeah, the role is for you to be an artist, to be authentic, speak your mind. That's cool. I'm not mad at that. But sometimes we see a lot of artists that get out here and say a lot of bullshit. I'm like, fam, what were you thinking about when you said that? Hindsight's always 20/20. But for me, I lean on the preparation. Like, be prepared when you're going to say something and know what the hell you talking about when somebody asks you about something.
Or actually,
to me, that's important.
My thing with the artist is actually do what you're either protesting or talking about. So, don't just do it because it's hot. It's a hot topic.
Point.
The reason why I brought it up when we were having the Kendrick conversation is because people were upset that he didn't use this platform to say anything about what's going on and how he feels.
Right.
That's what my
To
art's
me-
for.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. To me, Kendrick actually uses his platform in order to address these issues. So when we talk about people that don't say anything about nothing, you can't point at him and say that. So the people that are upset that he didn't say nothing, I mean, he just performed at the Super Bowl and got a whole bunch of
Backlash.
right-wing people
Yeah.
up in the air because of his performance.
True.
When he's performed on the Grammys dressed in jail attire. He's performed on the Grammys or at the Super Bowl again, addressing all of these issues. Every time he opens his mouth and gets a Grammy, but he's using that to address these issues that we all go through on the regular. So I don't feel like every artist has to use them accepting their award as their time to say something if that's not really what's on their heart. You know what I'm saying? Some people express themselves differently. You can't point your finger at somebody and say they had to say something.
Jump in, B.
I'm conflicted about that. But,
you
but
wanna
can
go along?
No, you go ahead.
Oh,
You
I
go,
feel I
Gus.
was conflicted. But go ahead. No.
I remember you was conflicted.
I knew you were going to say that. Good, well played. Well played. You do your homework.
That's what I
Well played.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm going to say really adds to this at all. But
This is my favorite type of
it
comment.
was like, Superhead was your girlfriend.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Who's girl?
First, I was like, "Who are you talking?"
yeah, I'm trying.
Bill Barr.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we all know politicians like to get their dicks up.
Come on.
yeah, you know what I mean?
It's documented.
Yeah.
Sir.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, he was the first,
He actually took her out places.
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is one of the first guys that I know that openly supported hoe culture. What does Amber Rose say?
Horticulture?
No, that's plants.
I know.
The hoe walk.
Yeah,
The slut walk.
Yeah,
Lord,
like-
I knew what it was.
and I'm not calling
so
Amber Rose a
disappointed.
slut. That's something
She
that
called
she
herself.
did.
She did.
Yeah, that's something
Yeah.
she did. So,
Her and 21 when he was in before he
Speaking truth to power. Anyways.
yeah. So he's always been open to outside thinking. You know, he's always been open to people thinking outside of the box. Progressive thinking. You know what I mean? So why can't I get on this stage and say that Jesus does not belong to one political party? Why can't I get on this stage and condemn Donald Trump
Right.
for, all the things he's doing out in this country?
There
Now,
are 38,000 mentions in the Epstein files.
exactly. You know what I mean? We're not talking about Pusha T and Jay, are we?
No.
Okay.
We're
I
talking
have
about
something coming up
No,
about
Donald
that
Trump has
later.
been mentioned
Okay.
38,000 times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyways,
Freaky boy.
he is.
100%.
Freaky.
Well, hey, be what they
Freaky,
say.
freaky Don.
It's documented.
Yeah, Freaky Don.
Freaky boy.
Freaky boy is crazy. Freaky boy.
But hey, look. God bless, man. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump in, Lone.
Talk
What you
about
got,
your
man?
confliction.
Talk to me, Lone.
I have a confliction between the artist and the platform conversation that you're saying. Because even though Kendrick has done many things and he's been outspoken about a lot of stuff in a very particular manner, there's also a very interesting, I don't know. It's complicated for me in general because from one perspective, he's a black artist. And being a black artist and being a black person in the United States of America, it's not necessarily his responsibility to be out here and to be speaking on things that black people in general are not inflicting on others. It's white supremacy and it's whiteness. So from one perspective, speak out if you feel the need to. But from the other perspective, I can't say that I don't wish more hip hop artists were like Vic Mensa. And to where like he gets on,
He be
grabs
going
an
off.
orange,
Yeah.
walks over to the camera and just spits facts and is actually talking about everything that is happening, going on in the world right now on a repetitive basis. And me as somebody over here that kind of feels I mean, you guys know the situation that I'm in. It kind of feels silenced in a particular type of way.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
You know, like I appreciate that a lot more than I appreciate the silence, I guess is what I'm saying. And I wish that we had more of that in general from people like this. So in one perspective, I kind of understand what Bill Maher is saying, and I don't like Bill Maher at all. But like, I understand the performative nature of the celebrity, and I don't really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate when people do actually say something and then follow up with it. And all things considered, it's not nothing to speak on a platform this big because you never know who you're going to influence. So I appreciate that across the board. So I really kind of agree with everything. I don't think this is like a black and white type of thing.
Right.
I kind of agree with what Killer Mike says, to be honest, which is like, you know,
if you feel compelled,
and the same thing, you know, like there's the Jelly Roll thing as well, right? He didn't say anything, but at the same time, he also said at the end, he's like, you know, he said a roundabout way to say, I will be making a statement soon.
So that was his second statement. He actually said something on the stage, which is what he was talking about.
What did he say on the stage?
So on stage, he pretty much alluded to that Jesus Christ does not belong to one political party, which made cause an uproar.
I see. So I didn't know that
Yeah.
part. But he did say in the follow-up, I guess the follow-up, what it was.
I'm a dumb redneck. I don't know what's going on.
I'm a dumb redneck. I will be making a statement in a couple weeks, is what he said. And from one perspective, we kind of mentioned that. I don't know if we talked about it last night on our meeting or what, but this is kind of what we say we want from people that don't know.
Yeah.
It is like, if you don't know, then shut the hell up, go learn, and then say something about it. And to me, that was him trying to be as accountable, even though he was in his Lil Wayne moment of, I don't know anything that exists. Or, you know, the world is whatever it is. So I can appreciate that for what it is, but there's really no excuse outside of that for not being aware of kind of what's going on right now. Like, what kind of bubble are you in?
Vic is the prime example of what I mean by preparation. Like how he goes into it, he grabs the orange, goes right to the camera, facts.
I don't think that's preparation though. You know,
Is that just who he
that's
is?
just
That just
being
who he
aware
is?
of what's going
that's
on.
like Vic is doing this on his own platform. He's not
True.
doing it at the Grammys.
What I'm saying is he's aware of what he's talking about, and you can tell that by how he presents it, is what I'm
To
saying.
me, he's like at the fundamental root of like what hip hop kind of came from and kind of is.
It's kind of him. I would give it to him and Vince Staples, because if you
Vince
ever
Staples,
have
yeah.
a conversation with Vince Staples,
Same.
he's
Yeah.
going to tell you exactly how he feels about certain things. Vic Mensa is in a unique space because I feel like he's more operating in the activist territory, because that is what his branding has kind of always been. Even like
Taking the common route.
I mean, they are from Chicago.
Yeah.
They all see bullshit that happened in their city,
Yeah.
and they all got some common sense to where they like
No
to
pun
invest.
Well played.
Yeah, they like to, you know what I'm saying, know what's going on politically around them, surrounding areas and things of that nature. I think even Chance the Rapper, all of them are unique
Yeah.
in that way.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And I think
Rhyme Fest.
he's found a lane that is bigger than his music, because people don't really talk about Vic Mensa and his music a whole lot anymore.
He dropped a record a couple weeks ago. It was good. I mean, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But nobody ever really
Terry
talked
right
about Vic Mensa's music like that.
Nah.
Never.
I really
And he-
enjoyed
and
Down
to
on
me-
My Luck.
And to me, Vic's always been the best out of Save Money.
Mhm.
And like Kids These Days was
Kids
fire.
these days was the shit.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but with that being said, I kind of get that, but I feel like nothing about what Vic does feels performative.
Nah, it doesn't feel performative.
Like at all.
I agree.
Like
And that's why it makes sense, because like, okay, you have these other artists that might get on stage and say something, and they're still going to homes in their gated communities. Now, if they're using their platform to speak on it and still going outside and helping aid and do things of that nature, then yeah, that's great. But I think it's fake to get on stage and say something just to be saying something.
I agree. Jump in, V. Take your hand down, bro.
Nothing feels performative about Vic Mensa. Only reason I'm saying this is that conversation he had with Ak. Did that not feel performative?
I
When
think
was
he
that?
meant that. I know what you're talking about. You're
When
talking
was
about
that? When
he's
was-
talking about an
To me, it
everyday
didn't. To me,
struggle.
it didn't.
When he was talking about beating him up,
He's talking about
No,
everyday
I
struggle.
thought that was real.
I thought that was
No.
real. I thought that was real.
extremely real.
I want, but if it was really that real, it wouldn't have been no conversation.
He still realizes he's on camera.
yeah.
Do I think he
I get
meant
all
what
of
he
that.
said? I do.
I could have had that conversation off camera though.
No.
We could have had that conversation before these cameras got
But I'm
rolling.
gonna get this check too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get this check too.
because
And I'm gonna let you know exactly
What
how I feel.
Thank you.
Because you're paying me to sit down and talk to
Thank you.
And
So I'm
you're
gonna
on
talk to you
camera.
about. I really wanted to knock your teeth in,
But I'm gonna get
and I'm
this
gonna
money.
be cordial with you right now
Exactly.
because you about to hand me a check.
What's gonna hurt Act more? Getting punched in the face or getting
checked on camera.
checked on camera?
Yeah, I'm with Terry on that one.
So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think I lean more towards like I think it was maybe it was calculated
Mhm.
to some degree,
I still think it's
but
authentic.
it seemed 100% authentic to me.
I think that's authentic, bro.
He was the first person I remember
You tried
even
to
checking
play
him
him
like that too.
You tried to play him twice with the actor. That's crazy. Go ahead, Jay.
You don't like Vic Mensa, huh?
You just don't like him. Nah, you don't like him. You don't
I
like him.
love Down on My Luck,
You
and
don't
that's
like
not
it.
a hip hop record, but I love that record.
You don't like him.
No, you know, I mean, because we talked about it offline last night. We were in prep for this show about Jelly Roll, and like he said, "Oh, I'm going to do my research." I'm like, okay, because I was ready to come in here and let him have it.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking, okay, you just another. You're going to be their new Kid Rock,
Right.
Ooh,
because
Dang, that's a bad.
I'm just saying because look, Jelly Roll, you know, he talks about being in the jail cell.
Friend of the
All
show,
he
Jelly
had-
Roll.
Yeah, he fooled with us. I think.
All he had was
He been in
that
the
radio,
He has.
and he had that Bible, and you know, you've got to understand it. First of all, anybody who's been through the system, you already political. And then if you are really about the teachings of Jesus Christ, Jesus was very political. You know, he's talking. The whole thing was talking about flipping tables and speaking truth to power. And we're talking about whether it is you're a believer or not. He was killed by the state.
Yep.
So how do you talk about Jesus and not want to talk and not understand about being political?
Get this on Nico out the way.
So Nicki Minaj has unleashed a fiery social media rant targeting Jay-Z, Trevor Noah, the Democrats, and more, while openly aligning herself with Donald Trump.
And holding his hand.
Thank you, Long.
I'm glad you said hand.
Thank
Oh,
you, sir.
decrepit hand.
What began as a rebuttal to a Grammy Awards joke has exploded into a broad, highly controversial series of political and personal accusations. Now, is this a spiral out of control, or is this someone breaking away from the industry to tell her truth? Do y'all believe anything that's coming out of her mouth at this point?
I remember she used to go by Roman.
What?
Yeah, she did.
She talks
Roman's
about everybody.
revenge.
Everybody's so devilish
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
things of that nature, and we've seen her perform at these same awards and do these same things.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it sweet so Jay can have his piece.
Oh no, take your
piece.
time, bro.
No, I'm
Yeah, he
just
like.
get this quip out real quick.
Go ahead.
She's just full of shit, man. Simple as that. And she runs with a whole bunch of people that do punk ass shit.
How dare you,
Uh-oh.
Miss Minaj? How dare you?
There it is.
How dare you say anything about people being pedophiles?
That's the punk ass shit I was talking about.
when
PDFs.
your brother and husband are convicted felons for said act.
Are both of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
that was my whole point. Then I was
Oh,
just,
boy.
yeah.
Two, Long. Two.
Yeah. Both of them are convicted for said acts. Now, I understand that you have obtained your
Gold card?
That was
Donald
just
Trump
a consolation prize.
It
That
was.
actually,
The White House has came out with a rebuttal, condemning everything that she said that she had
Mm.
received.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, it's hard seeing someone play the puppet and not know that they're the puppet. It's really
she likes to get.
Ooh.
I wouldn't go there, but
No,
No,
she's being
she-
a puppet. She's being. Well,
She might very well. She might very well. I can't say anything else to that. I think I'm
you can say a lot of things about Onika as far as her being a puppet. I think part of this is there is a concerted effort by the Republican Party, the far right, to have some sort of cool on their side.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's what they were doing with Amber Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though she was past her day, whatever, and on really our side of the culture,
Never took her serious.
you know, I mean, of course not. Why would you take Amber Rose seriously?
Exactly.
You know, her contribution to the culture is looking good, you know, and, you know, that fades, but that's neither here nor there. But it's the same thing with maybe Stacey Dash. I don't know what that was about. But then it's like, oh, here's this rapper we can bring over here. Of course, when you look at even when Lil Wayne put on that cardigan and, you know, endorsed the platinum plan and, you know, the things.
He don't know no better.
The things that, you know, Kodak Black or there's a lot of rappers but we all see it's transactional. I think that's
Precisely.
the thing. There's nobody who's there who doesn't want something in return. And so if they feel like this is where they can get it because this is where the power lies, this is what they're going to do. I think Nicki has, you know, when you're looking at her tweets, that's where a lot of this crash out has come into play as far as her saying things about people. Like I've said this before, she's looking for love wherever she can get it. You know, so when she doesn't get love at the Grammys, you know, and she doesn't get love from Rock Nation, she's not at the brunch, you know, she's not invited into these spaces anymore, not because of anything she said up to this point, but like as an artist, okay, you are in your legacy part of your career. Like you have never made that super big artistic contribution.
Super bass.
Exactly. You have never made
Brilliant.
that contribution to where people feel like, okay, we got to have you around. You are that person. Everybody has their run. Her run is essentially over. And that's not a diss. That's just the truth. That's what happens to every artist. Like I remember as big as say somebody like Ludacris or Nelly, because I don't want to make it just about the ladies. Like now they are legacy artists. They perform their old hits. They put out new stuff and we don't really care. And I think that's hurtful to somebody like Nicki because she had it a lane to herself for so long. She was the one and the only. And now she sees all these other young girls come in and get a piece here, get a piece there when the entire pie was hers at one point.
Yeah.
And that is hard for her to deal with. And she's getting love where she can get it. And like, I think that's sad because she doesn't have to go to this level to the point where she's tearing down the people who supported her, whether it be people in the black community, whether it be people in the queer community. They're transactional. Their part of the transaction is to use you for whatever cachet you have and then toss you aside.
And that's what they gonna do.
So
In the words, like you said, I'm gonna just say this real quick. In the words of Buckwheat, she is wooking Panub
And all the
in all the
wrong
wrong
places.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jay, are you saying that Miss Onika is trans?
What?
Actionable?
Transactional?
Yes. Yes, I will say she is transactional.
Okay.
You know, and the thing is, once this is over, whenever, you know, because the thing is, a lot of you are doing this and you're working in this transactional space. You got to realize Donald Trump is not going to be president forever.
Nah, she's very performative though. I mean, and everybody knows that Nicki is very performative regardless, even in the music she is. For her to come out and pretty much just say she's Trump's biggest fan, all that bullshit, now all of a sudden she's on this whole democrat thing and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. I mean, but the other people have used it already.
Yeah.
This is clever as a Trumpism.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. She's using the same narratives. It's like she's been through training.
Yeah, they handed her a car.
Yeah, she's got the guidebook. She knows all the things to say, and she's just regurgitating all the same shit that we've already heard from other people.
I'm surprised
Now it's just coming from a celebrity by the name of Onika.
I'm surprised she
Man.
didn't say, let's go Brandon, just because that was on the card.
Man, it's ridiculous at this point, and we all know what she's doing. We've had this same conversation for the past few weeks, having to talk about her punk ass. It's all performative because she's not a citizen, and she has 2 PDFs in her family.
That's a fact. That
I-
boy
So
spitting fact.
at the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to. You can get online and talk all the shit you want and say that you're aligned with this and always have been. We know the truth.
That boy speaking facts.
And you siding with who's the people that's putting on the bootleg Super Bowl
Turning
show?
point.
Turning Point.
God bless.
My guy didn't even with you.
Yeah.
So now that he's dead, we're using you, you know what I'm saying, as a pawn to get our message across to the white nationalist Christians.
Special interest whites.
Yeah. And you are the token.
Go ahead, B.
Devil's
Enjoy.
advocate. I've heard some very nefarious things come out of
I like nefarious.
Onika's mouth. One thing I haven't heard from her come out of her mouth. She did not call Mr. Donald Teflon Don. She did not call him her daddy.
No.
Who did she call her daddy?
She didn't call anybody her daddy.
No,
but
we
there's
talk.
somebody
He's
you got a favorite.
He's alluding to Kanye West and how like
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one person tap dances and doesn't say daddy. One tap dances and does.
speaking of like they basically tapped in just like a wrestling match. It's like, all right, Kanye,
Yeah.
you're out of here. Let's
You
let's
still
bring
tap
in Nicki.
dancing. She's dancing her ass off right now.
Shaking ass.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
When did she not, though?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's
this is a different type of
par
ass.
for the course.
Jump in, Long.
Her anaconda don't want none.
No, it do.
Well, she
want
don't
it.
have an anaconda,
Yeah,
but
she want it all.
respectfully. Unless she's trans. Transactional.
Long, please.
She should be ashamed of herself. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
She should. She should be ashamed of herself.
I mean,
She's,
we're ashamed of her, so I mean, it's cool.
It's pathetic.
I love when people use the word pathetic.
It's so pathetic.
It is.
It's like, wow.
Making a mockery
like
of
you're
yourself.
like you're down that bad.
That
Yeah.
bad, Long.
You're down that bad
Yeah.
that you are aligning yourself. Like you're exposing yourself to this
Yeah.
because you have nothing else to turn to the point to where like you're putting more light on your family that are PDFs.
A lot of people didn't know before she started
They,
doing
That's
this.
what I mean,
they
like-
know now.
You're putting more highlight on that. Like you're down that bad. Like you're so worried about your ego to the point to where like you have to do this. Like you need massive amounts of therapy.
That's why I was asking the initial question when we talked about.
I hope you get help. Like that's what I
Like
get
that-
help.
To his point, to everybody's point, basically is, the concept of her quote unquote jumping out and telling the truth, or is this just a spiral out of control?
Apparently, she's always been Republican adjacent.
Oh, okay, okay.
And apparently, she had that Mitt Romney bar back in the day, right?
Yeah.
About voting for Republican. Like people thought she
You're
was
not
joking.
a citizen. You can't vote no way.
Talk
Exactly,
to him, Jay
she
Moore.
just
Talk
talking.
to him.
Well,
Talk to him.
Let me
know.
ask you this, okay? What does it say about someone that even through all of this rigmarole and charade that
Man,
she is doing at the moment, that they're still fans of hers?
It says we are too forgiving as a culture, sometimes as people, because you'll go out and do things that are not just hurtful, but put people in danger with the things that you say, and you wind up being able to come back around. We've seen too many examples of it. I'm pretty, and then it'll be like, hey guys, I was tripping, I mean, and like we didn't talk really about Kanye West last week because we weren't on the air and his apology, but like I need to see a lot more action to forgive him completely and just say, okay, Kanye, come on back. We know you was on some shit. Like you had somebody make you a swastika to wear around your neck. You wore a Klan robe, and you knew the cameras were on.
100%
You
bullshit.
said all these things about, the black people that came before you and bled and died and sacrificed, and you dismissed what they did for you to even be here. I need you to do a lot better and a lot more before I can say, oh yeah, I want to see Kanye in these spaces again.
Well, his apology to black folks wasn't enough. It was like 2 sentences. He apologized to the Jewish people for like 2 or 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Well, Teofimo Lopez apologized to black people for slavery this past weekend.
Yeah, after he got his ass.
Yeah. That's an ass whooping.
But it's the United States people. We're enamored by celebrity. Educational system is in shambles. People can't think. People are
Preach.
stretched so thin with the social media and everything that we're on to the next thing right away. There's so many excuses for everything that nobody has any set of laurels or morals when it comes down to anything. So it's easy to be a fan of these people if you've always been a fan of somebody, because you can hide your fandom behind some other rationale that you justify to yourself. And there's a bunch of other people that are going to just go along with it. I mean, look, outside of Nicki Minaj's buffoonery, or maybe that wasn't the right thing to say.
I know what you're saying, but I don't know if you can say that.
That's what I mean. That's what I think. Outside
Rhymes with buffoonery.
Yeah. Outside of Nicki Minaj's nonsense.
There you go. There you go.
You know, pick an animal that's stupid or something. I don't know. But it's less about her, and it's more so about society, and it's more so about like celebrity and
the way they raised them.
And when you look at like the biggest cult that we see right now, which is just the Trump administration and the MAGAs, it's like she's small fry in comparison to all that shit. Like, you know, like we have real cultists out here that are just like
they will make excuses for everything.
There's just the cognitive dissonance is like so baffling. Anyway,
that shit passed.
Stop, you know, and you know what I think the lesson is in all this? Stop admiring people just because they have money.
Yeah.
Because that's where, you know, stop wanting to hang out with these people. Stop going on these boats and doing the bunny hop with these with these white people on the 4th of July. You don't know what they're into, and you don't know what's coming down the pipe. Like, you just need to go stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, because some of these folks you only around because, you know, you could potentially become an asset.
Token.
My man Pharrell Williams and his Hugo mistake that he made at the Grammys.
What?
Definitely made a mistake. So, I'm sorry, Terry's giggling.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah.
So, Pharrell and his Hugo mistake at the Grammys. I'm going to tie it in for you. I got you.
Huge mistake.
Hey, Long,
that's a hilarious
Hugo
title.
actually sounds better. Hugo, but you see what
Pharrell, it is Hugo. It's huge. What's that called? Alliteration or something? It's like a play on words?
That's hilarious.
I don't know.
All right,
No,
man.
that's not alliteration.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
It's funny, though.
Nah, I was just trying to do something different. That's all.
Okay.
All right, man. But look, so Pharrell Williams' acceptance speech for the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award at the 2026 Grammy Awards sparked backlash because he did not acknowledge longtime collaborator Chad Hugo anywhere in his remarks. So let's look at a snippet of his acceptance speech, and I got a couple questions.
Q-Tip is someone that I've looked up to since the very beginning, and I just thank you so much for the presentation and being here tonight. Me and Pusha just listening to like the Chronic and the Chronic 2001, like it's just the idea that I get to like hold this award that is signatory of one of the greatest producers of all time, Dr. Dre. Never stop working. Stop doing anything else but working. Work, man. Because when I'm 52, I get to do this every day. I love what I do. And if you do what you love every day, you'll get paid for free.
I know what he's trying to say, but he messed that up bad.
But he shouted out the clips as well.
Ceiling is the roof.
Yeah. He did shout out his homies the clips, though. But obviously, he didn't mention, you know, his partner in crime, especially when he got started. So here's a question. I think this is a good question. I'm coming along first on this one. Can an argument be made that Pharrell wouldn't have received that award without Chad Hugo?
Yes.
Can we make that argument? Because a lot of people will separate the two.
I think the Neptunes is a very important part of Pharrell's journey to be who he is right now. So I agree. So I think he's an integral piece, but I think what Pharrell has done separately from Chad since then has also been significant. But I think you could make the argument that some of his best work was with Chad.
Not some.
I'm just saying some. Not all of it. I mean, he's got some good stuff after.
Nah, I think since he's left Chad, he does not have a sound. Like nothing. I can't pin like when him and Chad were together. Every time you heard a beat that was a quote unquote Neptune's beat, you knew what a Neptune's beat sounded like.
Devil's advocate, real quick. We talked about the clips and the Kendrick topic and albums. I would argue that his sound with the clips on the most recent album, I know that that's Pharrell. To me,
Mike Tyson blow to the face sounds like Pharrell.
Except that one. I'm not going to take that one. But the majority of that is like, this is a progressive, grown-up version of the Clips and Pharrell, and I can hear Pharrell in that. To me,
I can hear the uniqueness of a Pharrell in those beats. I think the situation though at hand is Hugo wasn't mentioned because they have a ongoing situation.
Yeah, he's suing them.
Yeah, he's suing them. So
Chad is suing Pharrell.
Suing Pharrell,
this is
right.
twice, I believe, too.
Yeah, so I mean the Neptunes had a very unique sound. Like when you heard the Neptunes together, there was certain tones and blends and things of that nature you knew you were going to get.
Pads.
It sounded like a Neptunes beat.
True.
Now, as far as him being received or being accepted without Chad, we got to realize we're in the year 2026. The Neptunes have not worked together probably since the early 2000s.
Been about 10, 15.
It's been longer than that. Been early, like, yeah. Early 2000s is probably last time you actually got a Neptunes beat. Like even the track where Robin Thicke sued or whatnot.
Yeah, that
wasn't
Pharrell.
a Neptune beat. That was a Pharrell.
Pharrell.
Pharrell's been working by himself for a long time now. I do like the situation with the Neptunes and NERD. That's some of the best music of that time.
Yeah.
It created a whole era. There was a point in time that if you were listening to the radio, probably 10 out of 20 songs were produced by the Neptunes.
Yes.
Facts.
So they definitely put their stamp in the game.
Hit records.
Absolutely. And he couldn't have done that era without Chad. I agree with that. But as far as Pharrell stepping himself as an elite artist that should be recognized, I think he has made a claim for himself because Chad hasn't done anything since then.
I think Pharrell was on a path to be legendary regardless. So I'm not about to take that from him. I think he was on a path because he's too talented not to be. But the Neptunes era to me is what, even though he did stuff post Neptunes that we all acknowledge that was great.
Right.
That era separated you from who you may have been as an individual producer to give you the platform to be as great as you were. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I say you have to have that Neptunes period first because it was like a booster. It was like a what am I looking for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a vaccine.
Yeah.
There you go. It gave him a little extra push to get into the atmosphere where he could actually be great. That's all I'm saying.
But do you think because they've fallen off that Chad and his relationships, they haven't allowed for Chad to do, like, it's probably a lot of people not messing with Chad because
that's a good point
of their relationships with Pharrell.
Maybe mainstream
That's a good
people,
point, though.
but see that opens up a whole nother lane for Chad though, because the common artist coming up can't get a Pharrell beat, right? I don't know if they can get a Chad beat either, but Chad has not been working.
But do we know why Chad has?
We don't.
Exactly.
Or do we know that he's not 100% not working?
I have no idea. I haven't seen.
That's
I
what I'm
haven't heard
saying.
anything from Chad.
He might be working on, films, scoring. It might be something different.
We're talking about production.
I'll say this to Byron's point. I would say there's definitely a distinct difference in sound from Pharrell Neptunes and Pharrell Post. And I remember very specifically the first time I heard All Right, I didn't realize that was Pharrell until I heard him. And I was, and he still has his 4 to the floor thing that he does, or the 4 count thing that he does.
Beginning.
But like, I would have to agree that post Chad, he kind of has lost a little bit of that Neptune sound, a little bit that was Chad. But he also has some really great records as well.
I'm not going to take that away from him. He definitely has some great records, but I can't pinpoint that sound and say that, like, that's a Pharrell record right there. Aside from hearing that 4 count between before every record, you know what I mean? He doesn't do that all the time.
He
either.
doesn't. He doesn't
You know
anymore.
what I mean? So,
but he used
So
to.
is that bad though? That his pretty much his lane has expanded to where you can't
I don't think so.
pinpoint.
I don't think it's bad.
It's
you
not.
can't pinpoint his beats anymore.
It's not bad, but at the same time, was that you, or was that Chad?
Right.
Because if I want that sound, if I want that old Neptune sound, I need to go talk to Chad.
Yeah,
That's
because
fair.
Chad said he was the one doing most of the programming to the records or whatever, and it was just Pharrell doing the orchestrated, which
Which is still
It's
fire.
still,
though.
that,
It's
well,
still fire.
that makes Pharrell a producer and Chad a beat maker. You know what I mean? But regardless, I still want some of that nostalgia that I got from the Neptunes. Like that Neptune sound defined the era.
Yeah, I think the Neptune sound is integral to who we know Pharrell as
Exactly.
today.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
So would we get the same type of Pharrell without the Neptunes era?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
I think there's a level of growth that comes from the partnership that they had.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, I know there's litigation on the table, but damn, he could have said something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Just
you
at least
know,
shout
and-
your boy out. Y'all
because
got 2 minutes of great material.
You know, you're not here you're not on this stage receiving this award without the work that you did with the Neptunes, which means you and Chad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, sometimes it's paperwork, sometimes it's personal. And for what I hear,
Sometimes it's both.
Sometimes it's both.
It's
yeah.
both. And like a lot of times when that paperwork is not right, it gets personal. So I'm disappointed because I'm always disappointed when things that start off that I feel like our genuine friendship dissolve for whatever reason. And you know, I remember seeing Warren G back in the day on the Def Jam, the show. It was, and he was like, "Man, this music business, you know, you can't come in as friends; it'll tear you apart." And it was almost prophetic because you know, there's always been issues with, you know,
Great groups.
you know, not just even when you talk about, you know, his crew. I mean, he was doing work with Death Row, and you know, Dr. Dre is his brother, and still couldn't, you know, be a part of that movement. He had to go all the way over to go to New York and save Def Jam, you know, to really get on. So now, even though like people criticize what Pharrell said, especially at the end, I knew he was trying to say, if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life. But he just that quote up really bad. I was like, what?
Look,
It sound
you
like-
can
it
fool
sound-
me once.
Yeah. But
You get fooled.
yeah. I can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Get fooled again.
You know, it sounded like that bullshit Kim Kardashian said about, you know, you got to work. Nobody wants to work. Get off your ass and work. I was like, shut
You
up.
of all people.
You know,
Yes,
the only reason
we
we know you for doing anything, because let me stop.
Toot that ass in there.
But yeah, so
It's trash.
I don't know.
It's terrible.
Shout out to Pharrell. Happy he got the award. But, you know, you and, or not Chad, but Pharrell. But, you know, y'all need to figure this out.
Real quick, Chad has production credits on Brent Faiyaz's new album, Icon, that's coming out soon.
That's what's up.
There it is.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
NewOldAss.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, hit any bell you see for notifications. And also, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Also, check out our Patreon page where you can get the full, unedited, exclusive episodes. We appreciate your support, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
In a minute.
Peace.
With your dog ass.
Yeah.